Hey everybody, thanks for joining the channel today. I hope you have had a good day or good night or good morning, wherever in the world you're watching this from. And I appreciate you joining me today. Today we're going to be a little bit different in our discussion. And we're going to continue to talk about freedoms, financial things. This episode we're going to talk about jobs, and particularly, well, what kind of job do you have? And did you pick your job, or did you have your job pick you? What? Wait, what does that even mean? Well, it means a lot of people talk about falling into a job, just kind of like falling into relationships or falling into a new investment or falling into, well, you get the picture, right? So let's talk about that, and it might even make you think about your own situation. And well, did you pick your job, or did your job pick you, right? So let's think about that for a minute. Well, let's see, I've been doing this job for a long time, you might be saying. And how did I even get this job? Oh yeah, Uncle Fred said that it'd be a great job for me as a teenager, and I just kind of always have still been here. In that situation, did you pick your job, or did your job pick you? Well, I guess you could look at it from either way. You had a recommendation from your Uncle Fred. You didn't just necessarily do the old-timey way and look through the papers in the classified section and go, ooh, a job, I think I'll go apply. It was recommended to you by a family member in this case. And a lot of people do find jobs because of that. Sometimes people have the job pick them. And by that I mean you're looking for a job, and it's any job that can pay the bills and put food on the table. And so, well, that's what you do. You just go and you get the first job you see, and it's not necessarily the greatest job. It's not a job that excites you to get up in the morning and go to work. Probably excites you more to get off work every day and go home, right? But in a case like that, you pick a job just because it puts money in your pocket and helps you do what you need to do as far as your personal life goes. So that's kind of what I mean when I talk about a job picking you. If you are picking a job yourself, you're probably going to be a little bit more discerning about that. Put a little more discretion into what you apply for, where you go to work at. Perhaps you're looking at certain types of benefits, not necessarily just pay, but whether it provides, let's say, health insurance or medical coverage of some type, whether it be for, medicines and eye exams and things like that. You also may be looking at jobs for certain other type of things, like maybe you're looking for a job that while it may not pay as much, it gives you more flexibility and more freedom to do other things that you want to do. Maybe you volunteer with a scouting program, or maybe your kid's little league baseball team, or at the school or something like that. If that's the case, then perhaps it comes around that you picked your job. So but whether you pick your job or your job picks you, so to speak, what is the real impact on that? Well, let's think about that for a minute. If you pick your job, generally speaking, you may not be excited to get up at 5 in the morning and go to work, or midnight if you're working a really late shift. But what you might want, or what you might like about it, is again, the freedom to do other things. Okay, that volunteer work, or spend more time with your family and friends, and just things like that. If your job picks you, well, you're probably not going to be excited at all, ever, about your job, right? Excuse me. But if your job picks you, you're probably going to start looking for a job the day after you take it. A different job. A job that you will probably like more. Now, that being said, what is the real long-term impact of taking a job that, well, your job picked you, right? In this case. So you're not really excited about it. But what's the long-term impact of that? Well, there are a lot of factors that go into that. It doesn't really matter if you pick your job or your job picks you. What are the benefits from the job that you like? Again, it comes down to not as many hours, more freedom personally. Maybe it's closer to your home rather than a place that's farther away. And so your drive time or your commute time is less, right? And also, well, the pay. Pay is what it really comes down for most people. If the pay is sufficient enough, you're willing to put up with it, right? Well, up until a point. And I think most people will understand what I mean by that. So, and what does all that really matter? I mean, that's kind of what the bottom line is. If you pick your job, well, you probably picked it for a reason. And there could be any dozens of reasons per person. And there are different reasons for every person is what I'm trying to say. So whether you picked a job because of certain reasons or you fell into the job because of certain situations or it was recommended or your uncle hired you because, hey, he owns the business, right? So he said, hey, come work for me. And you're like, all right, Uncle Fred, I'll come work for you. So it really comes down to what is going to satisfy you with your job. Doesn't matter if you pick it or it picks you. But let's close out by just saying, think about it. How did you get your current job? And if you're not employed or if you're between jobs or you're looking for a new job, well, how did you get the one you had previously? Again, did it pick you or did you pick it? Think about that. And it's kind of like, well, does it really matter? Probably not. As long as you're satisfied, at least to a certain extent, about your job and the income you make from it, the benefits that it provides to you, it doesn't really matter. But all that being said, there's a lot of jobs out there. And if you're not satisfied with the one you have, let's do a little introspective thinking about it, right? Let's think about your personality. Think about what you enjoy. Think about what really makes you satisfied at the end of every workday. And if it's not the job you're in, well, why be unsatisfied with your job and your place in life? You should always strive to do more, but if you don't want to, well, that's your choice. But if you think that you would like a better job, don't ever think that you can't figure out how to get a better job. Okay? Education can be cheap or even free. It doesn't have to be a real expensive education. Sometimes just doing on-the-job training, OJT, at a place where you would really like to work because you think it would be really a good fit for you personally. Talk to whoever the manager of the business is or the business owner. They will probably consider hiring you on. Hey, you could even make a bargain with them. Hey, hire me for a week and don't pay me. Or I got a job, but hire me for a week and pay me little or nothing and let me learn some skills and see if it's a job where you and I can fit together here. And if so, hey, you never know. They might hire you on and actually pay you more than you were thinking. So, consider that and see how it works out. Anyway, just a short video this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave some comments below. Tell me what you're thinking. Did your job pick you? Or did you pick your job? Kind of like the old question, Do you put on a sock and a sock and a shoe? Or do you put on sock, shoe every morning when you get up to go to work? I don't know. It's kind of like sponges in the water, in the ocean. If there are so many sponges in the ocean, why is the water still there, right? Why hasn't it been soaked up by all the sponges? Anyway, have a great rest of your day, morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at, and whenever you're watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of whichever those are for you.